Hey, ministry leaders, it's good to be with you again. We are continuing to equip you with 5 tips to differentiate your ministry with key donors. We know fourth quarter is a busy time. It is a noisy time for donors. So we want to ensure that you are making a connection, that your message is actually being heard. Now, last time we talked about the first tip, which is to make a connection with key donors. Call them, write them notes, and invite them to share their story. The second tip I have for you today is to give them context. Now, we know this global pandemic has had a ripple effect through a variety of different areas in our society. Find out how it has impacted your donors. Give them an opportunity to share. After you have listened and heard, then you have earned the opportunity or the right to share your story. Now remember, people connect with people. So first share what's personally going on with you. Do you have kids still schooling at home? Are you in a hybrid situation? Has a spouse not been able to go back to work? Have you been impacted directly? Has someone been infected in your home? Or perhaps a family member or a friend? Share your personal story, because what happened in April is very different than what's happening now toward the end of 2020. So listen and share with your donors. Then you have an opportunity to really talk about the impact for your organization and for the people you serve. So there are 3 areas I want you to share context or give context relative to the pandemic and your work. The first one, make sure that you are sharing how it's impacting the people you serve. If you are in an area where those people have been directly impacted and it's obvious, share a personal story. If perhaps it's not as obvious, make sure your donor understands, empathizes with that service population and how that group of people have been impacted by the pandemic. What has it done to their everyday lives? Number 2, pull that back out to a cause level. Help donors understand if there's been a significant increase in demand for services or decrease. Has it made delivering your services more difficult? What obstacles does the cause as a whole suffer? Or what obstacles have they had to encounter and overcome? And then finally, after you've shared a personal story, after you've shared how the people have been impacted and the cause as a whole, now share what's going on with your organization. Have you had to close services? Have you had to cut back on services, furlough workers, change hours, perhaps completely pivot your delivery method? Make sure your donors have a clear understanding of how your organization has adjusted and continued to serve, or perhaps not been able to serve during this time. This is a critical element of differentiating your ministry work in the mind of your donor. Ensure that they understand how you have been impacted by the pandemic and what you're doing to continue to do the work they have partnered with you to do.